Hello there. Wintry weather and all. I trust you're well.
I am. I'm telling you, by the end of the winter, my arms are going to be like Popeyes because it seems like I'm shoveling snow every second day.
Oh, you're
But
out there shoveling, are you? Okay.
oh
All right.
yeah, well we have a stairwell and sort of a little walkway. But you know what? I don't complain because when you're healthy enough to shovel, that's a good thing.
That's true. Always look on the bright side of life.
Positive thought. Yes.
Claudia
So,
Ferri. Again, you're introducing me to someone new and very interesting.
well, this is so much fun. Claudia Ferri is mi hermana, sorella, Adelphia, or sister. I met her in the early '90s, where she was working at Champlain Productions in Ogilvy Avenue, which was the old home of CFCF and Pulse and TVQ, Television Quatre Raisons. And I was working as a production manager on this game show for the USA Network called The New Chain Reaction. And
Oh, yes, I remember
she was
that.
a
Yeah.
PA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was the PA in the office that looked after the guests and made sure everybody had everything they need and, took them to studio and back again. Just a brilliant, beautiful young girl. And we became instant friends. And one day she came into my office and she was very upset because she had been turned down by the National Theatre School. And she really wanted that accreditation because it can be important. But I had a different thought in mind and that she was way too talented already. So I went out during my lunch hour and I bought her a dozen long stem roses, saying to her, "Sweetie, this is the universe's way of telling you that you don't have to get into theater school because you already are ready to work professionally. So get out there, start working as an actress, and there you are." So I was right. I mean, God, television, film, video games, and right now she's holding her own alongside Kristen Wiig, Laura Dern, Allison Janney, Carol Burnett, and Ricky Martin. Apple TV's Palm Royale is the sultry Rachel Kimberly Marco. This is Claudia Ferri.
She's quite something based on her bio. I'm looking forward to meeting her. She's standing by. She's in the U.S. She's in Los Angeles, I believe, this
That's
morning.
right, Los Angeles.
And Palm Royale is the name of the show. That's on Apple TV, you said, yes?
Yes, yes, it's an
Okay.
incredible show on Apple Plus, and she plays one heck.
Well,
Her character is fire.
I've been humming Goldfinger since for the last half hour here. I'll explain why later. But there's Claudia Ferri in all her glory. Welcome. Good
Oh,
morning. Hello.
Good morning. I love the humble glory.
hola, chiquita hermana.
Hola, mi hermana de mi corazón. How are
Oh,
you?
querido. We're just gonna tell each other how much we like each other, and you can just. No, I'm kidding. Claudia, I'm so glad that you're here today because I don't know. It just seems like yesterday when you were that young woman in the production studio, all upset because the theater school didn't accept you. And boy, if they could see you now, they'll realize that they missed a ball on that one. And I remember one of your first roles with Aidan Quinn and Sir Ben Kingsley, and that was the Day of the Jackal. Was that the one?
It was called The Day of the Jackal, but they changed the title for The Assignment, which, by
Yes.
the way, is celebrating its 20th year of the launching of the Blu-ray, which came out 10 years after the film. So we're into, yeah, 96 is when the movie came out when I shot this.
But that was
It was my very
incredible.
first feature film.
Yeah, and working with Ben Kingsley and Aidan Quinn, like,
Donald Sutherland. I mostly work with
oh,
Donald Sutherland. Ben Kingsley just crashed at my parents' house for 4 days.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Well,
why
I guess
was
he wasn't
that?
happy with staying in the city. So, oh, you're living in the country. Is there room there? So, well, it's a 25 room house. I guess there's room. Let me just ask my parents.
And this was where? Outside of Montreal, someplace?
Yeah, it was South Shore. So you had to
Oh,
drive there
okay.
and drop
so
him,
cool.
pick him up and drop. Yeah. Yes, he was not Sir Ben at the time, but still he had done Schindler's List. He had done Gandhi. And that's that. But the person who impressed me the most, there's two actually, was really Aidan Quinn with his craftsmanship, and he's a true thespian, a true um, actor. very kind and always elevating your game. But Donald Sutherland, the
Mm.
the human behind him was I'm just so privileged that I worked with him in a little scene, but also that I got the chance to see him again. It was always a surprise. It was mostly at the airport, but one time in Santa Monica, I was walking here and he was walking his little Jack Russell, typical Jack Russell. Oh, how little. But Donald always so kind, and Francine also. So he's a real he wouldn't talk about vague things. He would talk about really matter-of-fact things, how he brought his children into the world. He was there to cut the cord to receive some of his children. And yeah, he was a great human being, a fantastic actor. And I was so impressed. I remember telling him how, as a child, I had seen Bertolucci's film 900, and his reaction was visceral right away. He says, "Oh, you were a child. You were too young to see such a film. Children should not see this film." An exquisite human being. What an example. And it was a first feature film that I did, so it was quite an honor. Also, the
Wow.
assignment is important because at 14 I declared, I'd seen that Meryl Streep had done started fairly late, around 28, I think, in film. She'd done stage before, but and I had declared one day I was 14. It was towards the end of our days on the farm, on the pig farm, and I was like, ugh. And I leaned on my rake and the rake that you use to shovel the manure into the conveyor belt. And I declared that by the time I was 30, I would be on the big screen. And lo and behold, my mom died when in 96. But I was able to invite my father and my family to the premiere of The Assignment, and I was 30 years old on the big screen. So that,
Bravo.
Quite
Now,
the
what
story.
about,
Now, Era,
yeah,
quick. I'm sorry. Era mentioned that National Theatre School earlier, and you were disappointed because you didn't have that credit off the top. Did you
well,
pursue training thereafter?
so the thing is that I'd done already Le Cégep de Saint-Hyacinthe.
Mm-hmm.
But I call it, I was kicked out with thumbs up. Basically, they told me, look, you are not made for, here we mold people, you're not moldable. It is clear you're going to be working. And they were absolutely right. And the class that where I triggered, where I finally got what it was to be acting was my improvisation class with Yvan. Something happened in that class, and I understood what it was to get into that trance, if you can say that, you forget who you are and you completely go along with another person's traits or another person's inner occurrence. And when I left that evaluation room, he was leaning in the hallway on the wall, and he looked at me and he went like this. So I was literally kicked out with thumbs up. And they were right. There's not many people in my whole year that are working today. And so I'm grateful. Marie-France Lambert, Charles Gaudreau, others that I forget that were very, uh, you know, resourceful and started their own theater companies worked. But I was always clear that I was going to acting school to Meryl Streep was my dotted line, you know. I followed her, not to say that I am her, you know, not at all, but she was my example. So if she says, I read somewhere that she said she went to theater school to become a better film actress. Well, I didn't ask myself any questions. I went to theater school to become a better film actress. I was always enamored with um, movie making, with film and TV. And so when I was kicked out, I was still looking for validation. And I met Era a few years after theater school. Um, and and I was trying to do my auditions for National Theater School because to me it was an accreditation, it was a validation. Okay, I'm an actress. It's here. But instead I got the ACTRA award as a little validation. So
but nominated for a lot of other awards too. If I look at my research, usually Yvan picks up his paper first, but we have, of course, she was nominated for Jutras, including Best Supporting Actress in Mambo Italiano, which was a lovely film.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, there were two nominations there for Canadian Academy Awards, and
yeah. And then Best Leading Actress in a Dramatic Series, La Marraine, The Godmother, the Actor Awards, and Outstanding Actress in nomination in film or television for the portrayal of Portuguese mother Ana Maria in A Date with Fortune. And of course, one of my favorite films, she was nominated as Best Supporting Actress at the Dutra Awards for Mambo Italiano, where you play, it's I can't remember the guy who
Anna Barberini.
That's right. And you play the sister of a young man in a very traditional Italian family.
Yeah.
Who wants to come out of the closet, but of course.
Yeah, I was playing the pill-popping neurotic child stuck in a vicious circle of self-pity. It's what the description of Galluccio is.
Let's not go off on that tangent today. Okay.
But yeah, just wanted to mention, I believe that La Marraine is still on Netflix Canada. La Marraine is, I think until recently it was airing on Netflix. So if you want to see it, you can.
Donc, Claudia, tu parles français, anglais, espagnol, portugais, or italien, right?
So I was born in a very multi-ethnic family,
okay.
And emulating languages, like I come in saying a line in Russian for the stunt scene in Palm Royale, but I love accents. I grew up hearing my Egyptian
because they're convincing. I couldn't believe it when I watch. We'll watch the clip in a few minutes, but of course my favorite is the fight clip with.
I love that.
That's the winner.
Bucket list.
That's why I'm humming Goldfinger, because Shirley Bassey sings the Joker, and she wrote that song too. So this was quite something. Whoever's doing the music for that show is brilliant.
Jeff Toyne and George Drakoulias is the supervisor, music supervisor. Jeff Toyne. I'm just working on a series of. You might see it on my Instagram. I basically I have 5 departments that I've interviewed, and I'm doing little snippets for Instagram. They're 15 to 90 seconds of 5 departments. You have stunts, you have hair and makeup, you have.
Okay, well let's show that clip now, because we're talking about it now. Forgive me for asking the technical question, but how long did it take to shoot this particular sequence?
No, don't forget, it's really important. We have such a great team. We have a stunt team, Mallory Thompson, that was a stunt coordinator on this, and her team. They coordinated this. They had to shoot the previs. You'll see that in the little snippets that I post, but it was 4 days. 4 days of
so
shooting.
You look at the work that goes into this particular, it just flies by for over 2 minutes, but 4 days of shooting.
Yeah, 3-minute scene, but once they've edited, and they cut even some little things that we shot to make it more like dynamic, and it turns out to be, I think, 2 minutes.
So I think it's 2:45 is the clip I have, but anyway, we'll run it here, and again, it starts with you looking into the camera and then making. And you say it's Russian, is it, off the top?
Yeah, and I say it's a line that I had learned 25 years ago for another project that I didn't get.
This is just. I really needed to see something like this today. It killed me. Here we go.
Enjoy the ride.
Я думаю, что нам надо обговорить некоторые вещи, ты не думаешь? So you two are trying to sell us out to Hoover himself, huh? You will never learn who I've been working for.
You better watch where you're pointing that thing.
I've been trying to redecorate. I've finally figured what this place needs. A spray of Russian red.
Then I got 3 words for you. Wah, wah, wah.
What are you? A baby?
There's always a joker in the pack. There's always a lone star. don't care. There is a as foolish as he can be. There's always a joker that's in the world, but fate is a hand I see. The joker is me.
There come the fingernails on the marble. I couldn't breathe. Okay, it's
not over.
just something.
We're halfway.
Bravo! That's just outstanding.
But we have to
It's,
say bravo to Sonia Wai and I don't know that I say her name properly. Sonia, please forgive me. And Colby Lemo, and Josh Friedman, I believe Josh anyway, the other stunt coordinator with Mallory. This team is so fantastic. Do you see how you can, it's really, really hard when but we did most everything. I did all the stairs except for the last tumbling, which is like crazy, and the crash in the table. I did do the jump on Kristen, but you'll see a snippet on my Instagram in a near future. So less graceful. It's more like two-ton Tessie jumping on Kristen, but she jumps really well, and it's like that's part of it's called my most embarrassing moment. But everybody's so gracious, so excellent. They bring such star quality.
and she's just a natural too, is she not? Kristen Wiig, she's just so good.
Kristen is such a great in the best of ways teacher. I'm learning so much. I'm 40 years into my career and I feel like I'm starting in it. I'm so excited to take on the next lesson and the next journey into learning, because Kristen teaches us to just let go, to not worry about what people think, and to trust. Just jump. Do it.
That's the impression you get from her on the screen too, right? It's just I'm in it and let's go. Yeah, outstanding.
Yeah, she is, and
Well,
a great human being.
I was going to go to a trip through your career, but I think then we're going to show some pictures to our
There's some
audience.
photographs here. Yeah, they got some shots from the website and elsewhere.
Oh, look at
and,
that.
yeah,
Gorgeous.
that's a nice. That's a terrific shot. That one there.
That's wonderful.
And this, I recognize that face too.
Okay, that's another great human being. Our showrunner also, Abe Sylvia. But we had Tate Taylor also on the show that for season 1, but is also still executive producer. Jaywalker Films with Laura Dern and Jamie Lemon. It's so fantastic to see the people that they gather together. But Ricky Martin,
Oh,
my gosh, a true star. I was talking to the dancers that I interviewed also, and everybody agrees in every department. This is a real star because of the luminous, the light that he has, the heart. You see the kindness in his eyes? It never leaves him. No matter if he walks out of his trailer, if he's coming in, if he's never late, he's always professional, he's always there. But the heart, the kindness, he looks at you, he gives you on a red carpet. He could very easily everybody is so on him. He could very easily just be absorbed. No, he sees you, hi, takes you in, hugs you, brings you along, puts his arms around you, makes you feel love, like you belong. And I think he means it. He's amazing. Another great teacher. Palm Royale has been such a great. Oh, wow.
oh, I love this picture from Assassin's Creed, I believe.
Yes, directed. This was the live action of, it was kind of a promo that, excuse me, I have a blank. Ubisoft was putting out. Their team was amazing. I don't know how many millions they put into this. It was 3 little films that totaled about 30 minutes, but directed by Yves Huneault. He's the first director that I called Maestro, because he's the first director, which now I've seen in different directors, but he is really the first director. I've had the chance to work with him on a few films. and to see him outside of films as well, great human being. I've been lucky. And basically, he works like literally like a conductor. He will direct, the camera, the actors, and he moves like a maestro. He's there, totally involved, connecting with us, bringing us in, dimming us, lighting us. It's wonderful to work with him. He's great. And the very first director that I worked with, Eramelinda, was shortly after you said to me, listen, this means that you need to go out there and start working, was he did the Léolo, Jean-Claude Lauzon.
Mhm.
And Jean-Claude was the very first director that I worked with. He set the bar really, really high. It was just me and the group of, I believe it was La Fabrique d'Images. I hope I'm not wrong, but there's a commercial that's somewhere deep in my Instagram. It was the very first on-camera gig that I got. And so I was the only actor. There were a few extras, but imagine my very first gig, you have a whole set, you and the director and all the people, the players, all the crew that is there. And so what happened is that he worked with me, and Jean-Claude was super specific, like to the micro movement, to the little gaze into the camera and back to you and saying things that I literally went into a trance. And it was like he was the dimmer and I was the source, the energy source, and you could do this with it and move it. And I totally forgot about, and I came out of this shoot, which was one day, one, and I thought, whoa, what happened? I time traveled or whatever, but I left my body kind of. And
Nice.
and so Yves Simoneau was the second one that I saw, but that really explained to me what it was to be directing, conducting.
Now, how did this come about?
Oh my God. This I want to cry because this is
Carol
totally,
Burnett. Wow.
this is in the realm of so many things in my life. Divine, there's a divine factor at play. When I was little, um, in dark times of my youth, you'd have this wonderful human being who was doing this show, a woman, star of the show, writing her material, um,
Producer.
producing, but you don't know that when you're a child. What you see is the laughter that she brought. And you had the impression that this woman loved us. I felt like she loved me. It's strange, but it's
No,
what it is.
no, I get it.
So I said in a post when I posted that, I think I said something like, she was really like a beacon, a guiding light that led me, that helped me. There are a few guiding lights, but she specifically was like, because you feel no judgment from this woman. And she is a monument of in her accomplishments, the heart, the wit, the quality of the actress that she is, and the person. But she was like a beacon that led me from, I didn't speak English as a child. English is my third language, but all the way here to Hollywood. And 2 days before this picture, I had a dream. And I dreamt, for some reason, I felt like I had missed out. I hadn't hugged her. We'd taken pictures, but I wanted to hug her. And in my dream, we were in a place that looks very much like the Saban Media Center but it was in the daylight in my dream. There was a couple of journalists there, and she comes out, and I went to her and I said, Carol, is it okay if we hug? And she said, but of course. And she hugged me in the dream. And I just had this wonderful warm feeling. Then comes the event that is for your consideration for the Emmy Awards for um, Palm Royale season 2. And it was a surprise event where we're also honoring Carol Burnett. We only found out the day before that that's what was going to happen. I wasn't even supposed to be on stage, but the night of, I went to the wrong place, and I was going to be like 30 minutes late. divine intercession. I make it like 20 minutes. The red carpet is still open. I'm rushing and I do the pictures on the red carpet and make it. They just started the screening. So thankfully I have my place. So I take my place, sit down, watch the show. And then Abe Sylvia says, okay, so I noticed that there was more chairs, but I thought, okay, well, there's going to be other people on the panel. I'd been told that I wouldn't be on the panel. Well, my name was not on the panel, so I understood, okay. But I dressed myself, prepared myself to be ready for the evening. I sit down, it finishes, and Abe says, okay, well, the people that we're going to call, please come forward and sit in front for the panel. We sit, and my name is called, so I like, oh, grabbed
Wow.
everything, go there. And then once the panel is finished, it was a surprise. So Charlize Theron was there to thank her. Gillian was there, the writer of Breaking Bad and Pluribus, the main actress. Everybody, a lot of people were there to honor her and give her winks and love. But as soon as they're finished, I beeline to Carol. I'm not concerned about being in the center of the picture. She was not at the center of the stage there. I just go to her and I said, Carol, is it okay? No, I said, I had a dream 2 days ago and I was asking you if it's okay to hug. She says, but of course. So I finally hugged her. And just as we finish hugging, the journalists are coming and kind of swarming and kind of overwhelming. And so I'm by her side. So I'm kind of holding her arm and people are saying, oh, bring her in the middle, bring her in the middle. And Abe said, no, 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 you come here, you come here. So I ended up being right smack in the center of the picture. So it's great publicity, but it's also a moment. This actual picture is me after the group pictures where I asked if Carol and Kristen, if I could have a picture with them. And they were always so graciously obliged. And so that was just before we just went out to have a little bite.
And this was at
Oh,
the
look to superstar in front of the
Yeah.
screen, the press.
Oh, what's going on in my mind there is like, oh my gosh, I'm late. I don't feel like I'm smiling. Okay, is my hair okay? Oh my God, okay. So,
Yeah, I get that.
And then there's the femme fatale ici là.
Look at her.
yeah,
Wow.
that's Alex Friedberg's team, Lee Bell, such a great team on the wardrobe and
Oh.
the costume design team. Marie Del Prete did my makeup, Tiffany Bloom did the hair, Juan Carlos did set design, and Ellen was set deck. I know her handle, Helen Set Deck. Helen, forgive me, I don't have your last name right now. I better learn it. But,
And where's this from?
so this is Judge France Charbonneau, directed by someone that I have affection for. En français, pour qui j'ai beaucoup d'affection. We go way back. Alain Desrochers, the first director to really cast me in roles that are not ethnic. He's always seen me. We didn't go to school together, but I knew him when I was 14. So he's always seen me as a Québécoise. And as to opposite of coming into the market, I was asked to de-Latinize myself, and I was kind of, to my advantage, and that's why I learned Spanish to instead of going against, I'll go, if people see me as Latin, I will.
This is the series Bad Blood.
But this is Alain Desrochers directing Bad Blood, and he's directing me as Juge France Charbonneau, which I love doing characters just like La Marraine that are real life people because you can embody them. And I saw the whole commission because I was interested at the time. And so I had a lot of time to look at her and see her poise and see. So it was fun. I would love to meet her one day. But yes, that's my ode to Juge.
And is this La Marraine en anglais? C'est ça?
That's La Marraine, the Godmother. Yes. So the Godmother on Netflix is subtitled, but this is also directed by Alain Desrochers. This Sophie Deschênes de Sauvimage Actually, it was not Sophie who called me. She's a producer. It was Alain Desrochers. I was shooting Rogue in Vancouver at the time with Andy Newton, and I get a call, and he says, "I'd like you to do this series. Would you consider?" When a director calls you to do a central character in a series, it's, especially a director like Alain Desrochers, you know that there's going to be attention to detail. If you pay attention to this series, you will see how well it aged. First of all, Carmen Ali did the costumes. Um, uh, yes, Carmen Ali did the costumes, and it's the 1990s. Well, you watch this show today and you think that it was just shot. We shot this in 2013. So it speaks to the quality of the production and the director's eye and attention for detail and his direction and the whole.
Who is this character here?
Oh, that's I have to be careful. Marietta Orsini. So this is this was so much fun. Hold on a second. Oh, let's see. So Marietta is a character from. Did you do your homework on
Yes.
this?
Where,
C'est qui a dit? Je m'excuse, it's not allowed, but his name escapes. Can we just quickly render justice, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar? And
Oh God, look at you, the poet you. You know, it's funny. You look at this character there, and we look at you, and there is such a disconnect.
well, that's what attracted me to the photograph too. I don't know who this character is, but it certainly speaks volumes.
please let me
But
give you some
it's
details. You chat for a
unbelievable because we're looking at, a person who's been through a lot, a person who's had obviously a hard life, a person who is in reduced circumstances and is just, well, dying for a cigarette. And it's funny when I look at you and I look at all these characters you play, I wonder if the people that auditioned you for the National Theatre School ever see you now and go like,
So
Damn.
this Stéphane Lapointe, a great director as well. I've been so lucky. I was like, really, it's a career is really like Yves Montand used to say, I attribute my success to 1% talent, 99% work. There's the factor of also, I always call it the divine because I've been blessed and I feel like I don't want to say this too casually, but when I was little, I feel like I made a deal with God and that maybe he would have heard me. I don't know. But Stéphane Lapointe, a great comedic director for comedy. It was written by Joanne Arsenault. And another project that was cool. So I mixed like the what I did for this. We had a conversation, Stéphane and I, the night before. And what he said to me, he says, Claudia, he says, this role, I'm going to be honest with you. I told it was Sophie that did that as well, I believe. Let's see, filmmakers, just to make sure, because I don't want to speak through my hat. Some things. So yes, Joanne Arsenault did this, and again, Carmen Ali, same costumes. Costumes is a great. Did the costumes on this, and I want to have the producers on this. Can we please have the producers?
oh my God, you sound like you're up on the stage for your Oscar.
That's right.
And the
Yes.
orchestra's
I'd
gonna
like to
Because
thank,
it's the team.
like to thank
Because
the guy in craft
you gotta have
services.
No, but not craft, but yes,
No,
craft.
I know.
Sure. Yes,
Steve, I'm all about
I get
the
I get the impression you'd thank the guy in the truck making the hot dogs too.
absolutely,
Yes, I'm sure you would.
absolutely.
You know what I
Okay.
want to talk about, Claudia? I want to talk about you worked with the great actor Ron Lane in Omerta. Of course, Omerta being the law of silence, and you play a mobster's wife, and that was one of your early. How many years did that series run?
Oh, I think it
C'était
was
en français.
three, I think.
Yeah.
Three. I think it was three, and I was in the three or was it four? But I think it's three for sure. I was in the second and the third.
Yeah.
And Ron, the scene, did I send you the scene where he
Yes.
roughs me?
He
This
roughs you up.
George Mialka directed that. George Mialka, another of my all-time favorite. Like it's, directors are fantastic because when you pair with them, it allows you to go outside of who you are, what you would normally do. So when you have a great director, like the directors I've been so blessed to work with, what happens is that it's not just Claudia's own reflex. This scene, you have to know that the slap was real. What happened on this? Ron, a wonderful human being, so glad that I can call him a friend. We don't talk very often because our lives are separate, but every time we see each other, it's like time and space never existed. What a classy actor. What a wonderful person to work with. I was super comfortable. These scenes are difficult. So this is another actor. I think we're similar in that way, where we always want to really explode out of the page and into the flesh so that we go right to the people's perceptions and what they receive. So we're reading this scene, and there's no slap in the scene, there's no kiss in the scene, but I quickly sit down with Ron. By the way, the divorce scene in season one, it was 9 days after giving birth. So I was breastfeeding on set. They were
For real.
starting to breastfeed.
Was
But
that number one, number two, or number three?
number two. Number
Okay.
two, the divorce scene is number two. But this scene where he roughs me up, I said quickly, we're on like always like on a corner of a table and we confer and we say, so I said, Ron, like, I really think that it would be awesome if you when you pushed me to the wall, that you force a kiss on me. Oh no, that you slap me. And after that, you force a kiss on me. And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And so I talk about it with George, and so he's hesitant, and you can see the first few times he doesn't really. And George is at the back. He says, "Slap her." So, but what I
Do
did
it
not
already.
know, what I didn't know when we did that is count how many angles there are on this shot.
Yeah.
Well, it was two or three or four slaps per angle. I ended up with like 15 or 20 slaps, and they were real slaps. So, hail, hail.
Yikes. The other character that you played that I really loved is Mambo Italiano, where you played against Jeanette Renault, who played your wonderful Italian mother. And then what was the name of the Italian actor who I've seen in just about every Italian movie or TV
Paul
series?
Sorvino.
Paul
Oh,
Sorvino, the
right,
Paul
great
of
Paul
course.
Sorvino.
Sorvino.
So, oh my God, Paul Sorvino. I have so much to say about all the people that I work with because of, again, a legend, kind. We connected on the set through clay. He had a block of green clay in his trailer, and I'm all about, I don't know if you can pull out somewhere on my Instagram, but you will see a sculpture that I did to thank him. Paul Sorvino became my petitioner when I applied for O1 visa. And
Wow.
because I got the O1 visa, that enabled me later to, on my own merit, to apply for the green card and later for my passport, for my citizenship. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be, that he was so instrumental to so much practically with my career that what I did is I sculpted his bust to thank him, and I shipped it to LA and I delivered it to him in person. And the pictures that you see on Instagram of me and his bust and him beside me is a thank you for evermore because his contribution and generosity lasted, but also the kindred spirit in art and sculpting. I love sculpting. I love playing with matter. I work with recycled and discarded leathers, but that I turn into magic. That's another chapter.
So here's a question for you. At this stage in your career, is the IMDb list to your liking, or is there way more left to do?
Oh, there's way more. Oh my gosh. I'm not ready to retire until I'm at 84.
I
I'll
was
continue.
suggesting you're ready to retire, but I mean, is there something that you haven't done that you would like to
Oh,
do?
so much. So much. Bring it
For
on, the
example,
Avengers. Bring
for
it on,
example,
bring the Silkwoods of this world. Again, I have Meryl Streep as an example, but um the roles that are really close to the flesh, close to the heart, that speak of resilience, that speak of triumph over adversity. We need that. We need these reminders there's no era that we don't need a reminder of this. The reminder to be kind, the reminder that um, children are sentient beings, that they're not stupid because they have less motricity or because they don't speak just yet. And I talk about children that just say goo goo gaga, they're little humans, but and I'm convinced because I was there that there is a soul that perceives and that sees an adult that is, if an adult is not in line. There are things. I have a screenplay in the works. There's many things on my table right now. So there's a screenplay. There's books, adult books. Sorry, they're children books for adults. Um, come on, novels. Of course, collaborations. There are things in the works. There are things out there that as an actor, we're always sending out or receiving requests. So, oh yeah, mm, my carte de route is really not finished. I think
okay.
that I'm just starting. Honestly, there was a lot of work. I got a call from a fellow actor from Montreal who called me and said, "What the? How did you land that?" I said, "I auditioned. I was in Rosemont. I was doing my thing." Not necessarily in the best of place at that particular time, but I showed up. I keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And I landed right smack in the heart of my Hollywood dreams with this series because of the era, because of the costume, but the main thing is keep getting back up, right, Era? This is what
Amen, sister.
sister said.
It's a slog, though, isn't it? It's a slog. You have to be in it.
But But the thing
Well,
about
the
acting
thing
is
is,
it's a belief. And as long as I've known Claudia, it's just that people talk about believing. It's like Peter Pan, believe, 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 and then the bells will ring and so forth and so on. But what I know Claudia for is that she has this great belief. It's a belief that is also matched with desire. She's a passionate person. You remind me a lot of my auntie Nanita because you talk with your hands. We always used to tell Nanita that if we tied her hands behind her back, she wouldn't be able to speak. But that's what I love about you. And I think it's that combination of passion, desire, drive, and belief that there's just so much further to go. You're not going to stop.
I think there's a seed that was planted very, very early on, and that's why I'm talking about little children. When you take for granted that a child that doesn't speak or walk yet, that he or she does not understand, and you could do things to this child, and I'm not talking about sexual abuse here, but scarring a child or belittling a child because you think it doesn't understand is a mistake because it's a mistake because the child does understand, sees. Imagine being a little being seeing an adult, somebody who is in a position of power, but responsibility as well, of that, bends over and does ugly things to a child, to belittle is and to say you don't exist and you don't deserve to exist and you don't deserve to be considered and you don't deserve. So the door was like really, really, the seed was planted really, really early to say, whoa, I exist, I am here. So I try not to be forceful, but this desire is really strong, and I think I have to thank the people who were instrumental to being giving birth to that maybe I needed that. Maybe I needed to my ego to be really crushed as a child so that I wouldn't be like so that I would stay humble. I hope to stay humble. But I hope to go far into my dream come true, you know. So my role, I just feel literally, I feel like I'm on the third step of maybe the of seven, let's say, but maybe step 4, 5, 6, 7 will be really fast. But I have 40 years of career to talk about going up 3 steps into a 7-step ladder. So yeah,
Well,
that's how
we
I
wish you Godspeed for the next few steps. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Claudia. Thank you.
And
Thank
as the
you.
kids today say, yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen.
Love you both. Thank you so much for having me.
Break a
Mwah.
leg. Merci.
Oh, thank you kindly. Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Ah,
Grazie mille.
prego. Bienvenue.